Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is probably going to be titled something along the lines of how I completed my first full distance triathlon Outlaw Nottingham race report, or something along them lines. But anyone that started watching my channel 6-7 months ago or something like that, hello and welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, which is basically everyone, I would consider myself, let's start that again. I do / have recently just booked my first triathlon, which is the full distance triathlon. So an iron distance is the Outlaw in Nottingham. You'll know that the reason I started these videos was basically leading up to this race that I did, Outlaw Full in Nottingham, which was just under a week ago now, a few days gone past the event. If you follow me on socials or on Instagram, you will know that the event went successful. I won't go too much into detail kind of as to the ups and downs throughout the event. That will be in this video, but a little bit later on. But I have got the finishing medal to prove it, along with the t-shirt. Yeah, I am going to be splitting this. This is probably going to end up being quite a long video of me sort of talking again. I have got some overlaying footage that myself and Autumn got throughout the weekend. But if you want to skip to a certain part of this video, if you go down into the description, there'll be timestamps so you can see what bit you want to go to and skip to it. I have made a little list just to make sure that I don't forget anything that I wanted to cover in this video. But what I'm going to start with is sort of the lead up to the day. So the event was on a Sunday. Myself and Autumn, we went up on the Friday. On the Friday morning, I had an easy swim and an easy cycle to do, just to keep the legs fresh. So I got that done early and then basically started packing for the day. I got everything laid out down here actually on the floor, made sure and triple checked that I've got spares of anything that I needed, and double checked everything basically to make sure that I've not missed any bit of equipment, because that would be a nightmare. So once I had all of that done, we packed up the car, drove down. I think it took us about 3 hours to get there, checked into our hotel, basically just tried to relax as much as we could on the Friday, got some food, and yeah, and sort of just chilled out. And then woke up on the Saturday and I had a quick, easy 20-minute run to do with some short sort of sprints, just to keep it, like I say, keep the legs fresh. So got that done again nice and early. We then went over to the event itself to obviously rack the bike. I've never done this sort of racking system before, where you get given transition bags. So that was all new to me. So it took us a little while to sort of figure all of that out. We had a walk around and made myself as familiar as I could with the transition areas and where I needed to go, what I needed to do on the morning, which really helped. So yeah, got my bike racked, got all my stickers and numbers sorted for my helmet and everything else that I needed to do, which all went quite smoothly. We obviously didn't put any of the nutrition or hydration on the bike. You do that on the morning of the triathlon, so the day before we literally just got the bike racks and got the transition bag sorted. So yeah, we got that done, went back to the hotel again. We got some food. We actually got a Nando's delivered, which was really nice. I kind of just got as many sort of carby things as I could. I got some rice and some chips and things like that. And yeah, we ended up managing to get to sleep really quite early. We were in bed sort of about 7 o'clock. I managed to drift off, which I was really happy about, at about 8, half 8. And then we woke up the next morning on the Sunday morning at around 3, I think about 3:30. So I managed to get a good, what would that be, 6 or 7 hours of sleep, which, you know, is way more than I was expecting. So I was really happy with that, and it started off the Sunday really well. I got my tri-suit on, I had a wash as well, shower. I got my tri-suit on and went down to the event, and that is where that morning, so we got there at maybe, I think we left about 10 past 4, left the hotel at 10 past 4, got to the event at maybe 20 past, maybe 4:30, around there, which gave us plenty of time for me to go back into transition, get all my nutrition onto the bike, all my bottles onto the bike, and all my hydration sorted for the day. And then it was sort of just waiting around ready to start. I got my wetsuit on, made sure I'd been to the toilet as many times as I needed to go, and yeah, so then it was just waiting around and waiting for that gun to go off. Before I talk about how the actual event went itself, I'll talk you through what my sort of pacing and nutrition and hydration strategy going into the event was. We'll start with obviously on the before the swim. So in the hotel, had a fairly standard breakfast. I was going to have bagels, which is what I usually have, but we forgot to bring a toaster, and we didn't have a fridge to have butter or anything in. So basically I ended up getting just some pastries, which I know sit well in my stomach. Had 2 pastries, I think that might have been it actually. And then 30 minutes before the swim start, I had a gel, which was fine. And then coming off of the swim, obviously can't have anything on the swim, so that was all I had that morning. I did have in a bottle just some Precision Hydration sort of salts. I had one of them the night before, like a 1500 salt sachet, and then had one of them the night before, had one of them the morning of, and then yeah, onto the bike. Just quickly on this note, this hydration and nutrition plan was all sorted out for me by Harry and the guys at Precision Hydration, so a massive shout out to them guys. It made it so much easier and took the stress out for me, and it worked an absolute treat. So yeah, really thanks to them guys for sorting me out. So on the bike, I started off the day with, I put 10 gels into this bottle and mixed it with some water. I had in here, I think I might have started with maybe like 30 grams of carbs and some electrolytes in there, and that carries about 700 ml of water. And my plan was to try and have one of these an hour with both electrolytes and some carbs in. So what I did is I've got 2 bottle cages on the back of my bike. So in my back right one, I had a pre-filled bottle which I made of basically just really high concentrate of some more of that Precision Hydration 1500 sort of salt mix, along with some carbs in there from Precision Hydration. I can't remember exactly how much I put in there, but yeah, had a really sort of strong concentrate in there, so I know that every sort of hour I think I was getting might have been 1000 milligrams of salt plus, you know, a little bit of carbs in there. And what I would do is every hour I would basically use that back right bottle to squirt some fluid into here, around sort of 1/5 to 1/6 of the contents of that bottle into here. And then at every aid station I would pick up a bottle of just water, put that in my back left bottle cage, and I would then squirt some water into there just to fill it up. Yeah, and then just try to make sure that I basically had one of them filled with some of that mix basically every hour, and that kept me going and worked an absolute treat. It was so easy to follow, easy to do. Could keep like my own sort of nutrition and hydration on it. Like I knew Precision Hydration worked well for me. I didn't have to use any on-course sort of nutrition and hydration, so it worked really, really well. I then also had a couple of Snickers bars on me, which again worked an absolute treat. It was just basically, it's nice to have something a bit more solid every however long. So I just ate them as and when I felt like I wanted to. And that felt, literally, I don't think that could have gone better. I stuck to that to the T, and yeah, worked an absolute treat. From there we go on to the run. Basically I took out 8 gels of me, thinking that I'd probably use all of them and then maybe just have some water and maybe a bit of Coke with it. I was half expecting to have some sort of cravings or feel like I wanted to change up from having gels and stuff, so I was a little bit more sort of fluid, I suppose, with my plan. Basically what I ended up doing was, for the first sort of half marathon, I think I stuck to just gels, water and Coke. There was 16 aid stations in total. Basically every other aid station for the first half, for the first 8, I would have water, just water, 2 cups of water, and then I would have water and a Coke Zero. And then when I had just the waters, I would also have a gel. I hope that makes sense for the first half. For the second half, I decided that I kind of fancied something solid, because the only solids that I had that day were the Snickers bars. So what I swapped out gel with the waters to end up having banana and more Coke Zero. So I had like a water, a Coke Zero and a bit of banana. And I think that might have been for the last 4 or 5 aid stations or something like that. But yeah, that ended up seeing me through, and definitely I think was a good move. I think the gels were good, but I was getting a little bit bored of them, and the banana definitely felt, don't know, it was nice to have something, feel like you've got something in your stomach. So yeah, that worked really well, and that kept me going right through to the end. I think if I had have actually potentially included the banana and stuff a bit earlier, it might have even helped even more. But yeah, anyway, to be honest with you, it couldn't have gone too much better. I didn't ever feel like hungry or like I was, obviously you feel a bit tired and slightly out of energy, but I didn't feel like I had to walk for any of the marathon or anything like that. So as far as that goes, I think that went pretty much spot on. I don't think there's too much more that I could have done better. Also, just to quickly mention, I did actually carry with me 8 sweat salts from Precision Hydration, which I had during the run. I didn't start using them until I maybe had 2 at like 10 miles, another couple at 15 or 16 miles, then another couple at 22 or so miles. I didn't end up using all of them. I think I used 6 of them. But yeah, again, they helped a lot. So yeah, and that was basically all I did throughout the nutrition and hydration side of things for the Ironman. So that's the lead up to the event. That's the nutrition hydration plan and how that went. I'll talk about now sort of just generally how the sort of splits and how I felt during the race and yeah, basically how it went for me. So obviously we shall start with the swim. My sort of plan going into the swim was to try and treat it as what most people say, treat it as a bit of a warm up, keep it fairly easy. According to my watch, I did it in 1 hour and 11 minutes, which is 140 per 100 yards, which I'm super happy with. I felt like I was going slower than that, so I can't complain there really. The swim's a swim, isn't it? It was up and down a Rowan Lake. I'll put the sort of Strava thing up here so you can see it. But yeah, up and down a Rowan Lake, couldn't have gone better. Absolutely fine. No sort of issues with chafing with my wetsuit or anything like that. Yeah, no complaints with the swim. Happy with that. Then got out. The transition area was really long. Transition, I think, ended up being about over half a mile long. So that's transition times were quite slow. But again, my plans with the transitions were to take them as slow as I need to. Don't rush and forget something or forget anything that you know might need. Or think, oh, I didn't put my socks on, or whatever it might be. I forgot to pick up a gel, or I just wanted to take them slow and make sure that I'd done everything correctly, so I didn't forget anything. So my first transition ended up being, I think it was about 8 or 9 minutes, which is pretty long, but like I say, it is half a mile, so kind of justified, but probably could have done it a little bit quicker. But again, no complaints. It's my first one, so is what it is. The bike. So this is where I kind of struggled most with pacing and what to expect. I don't have a power meter, so I can't see what power I'm doing basically. So my idea going into this was just keep it easy. I didn't really want to look at my speed or anything like that because I didn't want to get carried away. And I was expecting at some point, either on the bike or the run, for my legs to get really sore and me go, oh no, we're in, this is going to be hard now. So I was just expecting to blow up at some point and feel like I can't go on and feel like I have to stop and stuff like that. So I was in my back of my head, I had that thought. So I was just like, whatever you do, keep it easy. Even on the steep sections, just spin it out and keep it as easy as possible basically the whole day so you don't blow up. In retrospect, I think although that helped me get to the finish line, it probably did pull back on my performance slightly because I was trying to go as easy as I possibly could basically. So I ended up doing the bike again according to my watch in 5 hours and 15 minutes, which is like 21.1 miles per hour. Actually, considering I did find it easy, I was going easy, that's not a bad time, not a bad pace. Again, like I said, I think I probably could have pushed that a little bit more, but it was my first one and I just wanted to make sure I got round it. Something that actually I was pretty pleased with, was actually a bit of a concern for me, was holding an aero position for 5-6 hours. I managed to hold it the whole time, obviously not around the corners or whatever, or through aid stations and stuff, but for the majority of the time when you could, I managed to stay in aero and I felt like my aero position was pretty good. I'll put some pictures up so you can see some photos from the event. But yeah, position felt solid, managed to hold it for the whole time. In T1, I did actually get some ibuprofen gel and put some on my neck, which again slowed me down a bit, but I think that was so worth it because after I've really only done like sort of 2-3 hour rides on my TT bike, and my neck was getting sore by the end of them, so I knew that 5-6 hours, my neck was going to get sore. So I think that ibuprofen gel worked an absolute treat on my neck and definitely worth doing, and I would do it again. I think no issues, no punches, no bike issues, nothing to complain about again. Just maybe wish I had tried to go maybe a little bit quicker, because it is a flat and fast course. But yeah, overall no complaints, super happy with that. Then into T2, I was extremely desperate for a wee. So my main concern was get all my cycling gear off and go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet, it was just for a wee, and that was it, thankfully. So yeah, did that. Again, it was another like half a mile long or whatever it was. I did have a spare pair of socks in my T2 bag, just in case my feet felt sweaty or whatever, you know, had it rained and they were soggy. But I didn't end up needing to use them, so shoes straight on, helmet, everything off. That was when I picked up my 8 gels. I had put 2 in my hands, so I had 1 in each hand, 3 in this side of my tri-suit, 3 in this side of my tri-suit. Started the run, set off really slowly, because again, I had that in the back of my head. I was like, everyone says the last half of your marathon, you know, you feel like you need to walk and you've got no energy and you feel rubbish. So I was like, go off slow, just take it really slow. And so my first few miles were fairly slow, to be fair. They were like 8:20, 8:30 minute per mile. And then sort of settled into about an 8:30 minute per mile pace for the first half marathon. Again, no complaints. Legs actually felt surprisingly good. Yeah, I don't think there was anything to really mention. The course was quite a nice course. It was 2 big loops and then 1 small loop to finish it. Aid stations were really well stocked. The whole, to be fair, Outlaw did an amazing job of the whole event. It was all ran so well, signposted extremely well. Yeah, everything was done really well. So like I say, I kept that 8:30 for sort of maybe the first half marathon. Did start getting into the late 8:30s, 8:40s. I think it was by about the 16th or 17th mile, that's when I could start feeling it in my legs, and I was like, oh, do you know what, my legs are starting to feel a little bit heavy now, which is way later than I was expecting. And when I say that my legs started to feel heavy, it wasn't like I felt like I had to walk. Didn't feel like I had to walk through any of it, but I could start definitely feeling fatigue settling in a bit. So I dropped the pace. I thought, oh, you've still got another 10, 11 miles as yet. So I dropped the pace a little bit down towards more than 9 sort of minute per mile mark. And by this point, as I mentioned, because I was stopping to get water, Coke and banana, I actually started walking through the aid stations a bit, or slowing down quite a bit through the aid stations. Not because I felt like I need to, but basically just to give me enough time to grab everything. Because I kind of had to, yeah, it's a lot to grab. It's 3 things you've got to grab, so you've got to try and finish one by the time you pick up another, which would have slowed me down a little bit, maybe by 10 seconds or so per mile. Again though, legs still didn't feel too bad. Yeah, kept sort of that pace up for pretty much the rest of it really. Got to the last loop. Again, still feeling all right. I think the 24th or 25th mile, I did have to stop to go to the loo again just for a wee. So yeah, did that, which obviously slowed down that mile. And then, yeah, ended up still feeling like by the 26th mile that I had something left. My legs still didn't, they felt, you know, they were starting to ache. My hip flexors were starting to get sore. My calves felt fine. My glutes were a bit sore. My right hamstring did actually feel like it was sort of cramping up slightly. But yeah, other than that, they didn't feel too bad. So I thought I would speed up, and my 26th mile, I think, was actually my fastest mile. And then for the last like half mile, because it ended up being 26.45 miles or whatever, I sped up to like a 7 minute per mile just to get through the finish line. And yeah, and overall, again, no complaints. Probably could have gone a little bit faster because I definitely had more in my legs towards the end. So yeah, overall, oh yeah, I forgot to say, my overall time for the marathon was 3 hours and 50 minutes again, according to my watch, which left me an 8:43 minute per mile for the marathon. So yeah, that left me with an overall finish time of 10 hours and 37 minutes. Again, I think I probably could have pushed that and maybe knocked a few minutes off here and there. Definitely feel like I could have gone faster on the bike, but had I done that, might not have finished as strong as I did, which was, you know, very strong for me at the end. I wasn't expecting it. Like I said, there wasn't really a time where I felt like I had to stop and walk, or felt like I wasn't going to finish or anything like that. So to have it be as strong, you know, strong as the start of the bike as I did at the end of the bike, and it felt as strong as I did at the end of the run as I did at the start of the run, sort of thing. Yeah, can't complain. Super happy with it. Outlaw did an absolutely phenomenal job at running the event. It was so well signposted on the bike, and yeah, really well run. I don't think that they could have done a better job. There's nothing that I could think to complain about. The whole aid stations were well stocked. It was, yeah, yeah, no complaints basically, which obviously is a very good outcome for my first full distance triathlon. It does make me want to do more, probably not anytime soon, but I'd like to potentially, no, I won't say it, but I would like to go a bit faster and maybe try another one at some point in time, but it is what it is. I'd like to, before I do that, like to do some other challenges maybe. If you do have any suggestions of some quite cool challenges that you think might be cool to document as well, I'd like to document some more sort of fitness journeys and fitness challenges. I think that would be quite cool, similar to this Ironman. Maybe one that's been sort of playing on my mind is doing an ultra marathon, but like quite a big one maybe starting with a 50k and pushing it on, doing 70, 80, 90, 100k. That would be quite cool. But who knows? If you've got any suggestions of events or challenges, then do let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear them. If you do have any further questions about the event or how I did or what I did with whatever, any like pacing sort of questions or hydration, nutrition questions that you think I might be able to answer, then let me know in the comments again, and I'll definitely get back to all of them. Also, if you want to see a video about me going through some more in-depth sort of overview of my training leading up to the event, like volumes of weekly volumes or specific sessions or anything like that, then let me know in the comments, because I can make that. I think it might be quite useful. I watched a few leading up to my one and I found it quite useful. So yeah, if you do want to see them, again, let me know in the comments and I will get one done. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I can bring you another series on a new sort of fitness journey or fitness challenge, I suppose, in the near future, if I can figure one out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
Come on, Lou! Come on!
Natasha and Nicholas.